Hi Scorpio, the Awakened Dreamer here to give you a tarot reading for your next 48 hours. Thank you so much for joining me. Do keep in mind, of course, this is general, so just take what resonates and leave the rest behind. But I do more than appreciate your likes, comments, and of course subscriptions to the channel if you haven't done so already. And also do keep in mind as we move forward with the reading, this is meant to pertain to the following 48 hours, following 48-hour period for you individually, beginning around when you're guided or drawn to this video, not just following when I post it, but as well to book a personal reading with myself, just reach out via email. Everything you need is down below in the description box. Let's begin and pull from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck, but I did get a channeled message for you before beginning the reading, which I've been doing a lot recently, and that was, shining for all to see. Bear with me, that was a struggle. Shining for all to see. Some of you, this is involving your money and your career somehow. For Scorpio. Flying onto the ground. Ooh, struggle. We have co-create. You could be pushed to work with somebody else. There could be a bit of teamwork or paired up kind of work, collaboration taking place in the next 48 hours, or discussion of which, but you're being pushed to co-create with your guides, okay, with spirit. Some of you Scorpios drawn to this reading are spiritual workers or will be healing others through certain levels of spiritual work, or you could even find that you're pushed to watch someone else's tarot reading or something of the sort, or purchase a psychic evaluation or psychic reading. And I also do feel like body temperature coming into play. Some of you fanning oneself off if you're too hot, or feeling a change in the weather, altering your mood in one way, shape, or form. But we also have serendipity. So I do feel like the next 48 hours speak upon, give you results of the luck that's on your side at this time. And I do sense that you're also noticing somebody else in your midst, or that you're wrapped up with, if not two people, who are also feeling quite lucky at this time for one reason or another. Money will come, money will go is what I'm hearing, but I do feel like there's potentially a focus for some on a new life that you're experiencing at this time due to a past switch up change, or it could be you thinking about or planning for, or both, for a new life in one way, shape, or form, okay, a big change, whether that's a move of residence, a new career choice, you name it. Let's pull one more right from the middle. And then we have there and now. Okay, interesting, here and now. But I do feel like you're migrating throughout the next 48, doing some traveling to an extent. You could be going on a trip, but I do feel like there's thoughts of the past, the future, the present day situation. I'm seeing a seahorse. Again, there could be predictive nature coming into play, and even clarification coming to be in regards to what you've been through, all right? I feel like there's a little bit of clarifying taking place on what to expect moving forward, but you'll also be pushed to be one with the fact that you're not meant to know it all, right? To move forward with confidence. But I do sense that there's a door that's meant to open moving forward, and it's gonna leave you, okay, hatching a new egg, it's gonna leave you feeling quite gratified in a lot of ways, and it will better the energy of what you're meant to deal with, okay, or what you produce and develop. I feel like some of you need a better environment to work on your business, or to work on developing, creating for your job. I do sense that you are thinking about people and the way they accomplish something similar, or similar to what you do. Does that make sense? But I do feel like you're very much serious and methodical in the way you're approaching what you create and develop in the next 48 hours, wanting people to get why you do something, but then at times needing to remind oneself why you began something, or why you decided that was a good choice for you in your life, okay? But I do feel like there's levels of chaos and conflict that take place in the next 48 to remind you of what can't last, or it could be chaos and conflict that you're reminded or from the past that made you a little bit nervous. I do feel like a level of confusion is coming to be within one's mind at a certain point in the next 2 days, but it just feels like there's something it feels like there's something to solve, to crack, but I feel like the process of you being a bit perplexed and trying to figure it out, or gaining, there's something to there's a benefit from that process. Wow, that was difficult, but that was purposeful. And I do feel like you are being pushed to recognize there's a level of victory to be experienced, even though you've been put through the ringer or have dealt with certain bad choices. Even if somebody else chose that for you, or if you just kind of went with the flow. But yeah, let's move forward and pull some tarot. We're going to do the Mystic Monday stack for Scorpio. Keep your eye on the time, but you may feel like it's impossible to do so at a certain point, whether there isn't a clock near you or you can't use your phone. But I do feel like you're being pushed to manifest a new level of love and luck into your situation. But I do feel like or luck with love, okay? Some of you being pushed to reflect a bit on the fact that you haven't had the best luck when it comes to dating, when it comes to people not having your back when they were supposed to. But I do feel like you're going to remember that everything happens for a reason, and you wouldn't be able to notice the red flags or just the untrustworthy behavior as easily if it wasn't for that specific person that comes to mind who, they said it was a piece of shit, or just was untrustworthy once again, or did you wrong in one way, shape, or form. But I do feel like there could be more than one person from the past in that sense. But for one reason or another, there's just this one person that you're being reminded of. It may even be due to social media posts or just due to spirit reminding you. An item might remind you of this person. Let them stay in the past, okay? There's something to gain from the remembering, but it just reminds you why you go through what you go through so you can make better choices moving forward. And I also feel like without a specific level of annoyance in the next 2 days, however that works for you, you wouldn't be able to as easily or as efficiently notice who or what is a healthy part of your situation, or to remember that, okay? Without the negatives, at times we don't grow and change in the way we're meant to, or again, it's harder to remember or notice what is actually meant for you or good for you. But we also have justice, okay? I really do sense that you are being pushed to balance things out for oneself. And I sense that, you may want to watch the Gemini reading that I just did if you have Gemini in your chart or maybe dealing with one. But I really do feel like you are gaining a level of justice for what you have been through, once again, and for who you're trying to bond with, however that works out for you. But I do feel like there's levels of toxicity again being thought about, certain people's behaviors being highlighted, and a need to think before you speak. That reminder is coming up for a reason, where you may be very quick-witted is what they're saying, or quick to jump to conclusions at certain points, with so much thought of the past and the present day situation and the future. But you also just may be very quick to put somebody in their place, and that needs to be thought about at least for a hot second before you do so, because you may come to a quick shift in perspective where it's not going to do the situation any justice, or it won't give you the victory that you're actually looking to acquire at that time. But I do sense that there's just a way about you where you're guarded, okay? Why do you feel so inclined to enter certain connections that you're continuing or beginning, or certain work scenarios with your guard up? It's because of the BS that you were put through when it came to a past difficult, unhealthy, and they're even saying toxic work environment, or past letdowns, disappointments, or backstabbing for certain connections. I just feel like you deserve better than you've dealt with. And for some of you are dealing with a healthier situation these days, or multiple than you're being reminded of. But there's just a need to recognize but not overthink certain ways that you respond or cope with or deal with what you have at hand, and will more so moving forward, okay? But you are shining for all to see in the next 48 through the success of your work, through the success of bonding with people. But again, there's a need to just recognize it's okay to feel a bit defensive at times. there's something to learn and some growth to take place from that. And it's okay to feel the need to protect oneself, even though you're going to be reminded you're protected by spirit. But having that full body of armor on when moving forward with somebody or to see success in one way, shape, or form in your life is not going to benefit you in the way that you might think. Okay, it could cause more damage in the long run or alter the victory that you're meant to achieve. Okay, I just feel like you're very much in the mindset where you want to put your foot down when it comes to the BS or when it comes to what you intuitively know. And you may be right by feeling that way, but I think there's more than one moment in the next 48 hours. For some of you, it's just one specific moment where biting your tongue is going to benefit you more so. All right. And just remember that looking within and figuring out how you can better the situation through oneself or just through your own actions and growth is going to be more beneficial. And I know that a little hard to hear at times, but that's just how it's coming through. Let's pull a Kipper card or two. I just saw the number 11. You could see 11s or synchronicities with 1 in it in the next 48 hours, but the spiritual meaning of 11 coming into play. Yeah, false person, absolutely relevant for your reading. And I do feel like for some of you, this person could be in your situation in the next 48 hours, but I do feel like you could be wrapped up with them. But for most drawn to this reading, it's a person from the past. But I do feel like there's a message coming in. Okay, Mercury retrograde, if you're watching this close to when I post it, you could be hearing from somebody from the past. I don't feel very good about that if that's the case, but just try to move forward with confidence regardless. And I do feel like there's a focus on your housing situation for some. But we also have journey and child. You're being pushed to think back to your childhood at a certain point, and even when you were a younger version of you and how you would have coped with or dealt with what's at hand, and more so what you have to deal with moving forward. And you're just being pushed to enjoy the journey along the way, but doesn't mean you have to bounce back to certain immature ways of being or just the way you used to be. It just, there's certain reflections again taking place to keep you on the right track or just to help you with your individual soul growth. And I just sense that you're being pushed to just do what's right for you. Yeah, a message of concern flew onto the ground. Just allow for oneself to tread forward in a careful, strategic manner, but don't have a full body of armor up, and trust your intuition all the meanwhile.